Hi, I'm Jenna, and this is episode 117. A big hello and welcome to all new viewers, and a big hello and thank you to returning viewers. As many of you have seen, I am in the group on Ravelry, RetroLemonStudio. We are doing a May knit-along. I can't talk today. My apologies already for stumbling. We are doing a Love Your Stash knit-along. And if you hear something that sounds like a choking duck, it's George. He still has this little bit of a cough and it sounds funny. He's in the window enjoying the beautiful day, so you will hear the birds and anything else that goes on outside. But yes, the Love Your Stash knit-along. So it has to be from yarn, anything bought before May. I'm not going to tell you go back a certain time period, but you cannot use anything you've bought from May 1st through the knit-along. The project has to be started and finished in the month of May, and I thought, because I was like looking for yarn for a certain project, and I'm like, I don't need to buy yarn. I have more than enough yarn. Trying not to buy a whole lot of yarn right now, and I just thought, well, we'll dig, right? So I had the big bin of sock yarn, and I'm like, oh, this would make a great knit-along, right? Like, I know everybody probably has more yarn than they'll ever use, and it's a fun way to kind of like be like, oh, I really loved this when I bought it, and I still really love it, now so let's find a pattern for it. Or, oh, I've really been wanting to make, you know, this certain pattern, let's see what's in my stash. So, rules real quick, like I said, it must all be made from stash yarn. So you run out, you gotta improvise. And it doesn't, that improvising does not include buying yarn. You can make as many as you want, you can use any pattern you want, any yarn you want, as long as it's stash. Enter them in the group thread, give them each their own post. Let me think, what else? Details. You must be a group member to win. I mean, pretty much it's just have fun. So I did get a viewer, Cat Wings, who has designs on Ravelry and Etsy, has generously donated a pattern to a winner. So a huge thank you to, I believe her name's Cat, right? I think. I wrote it all down, I left it at the desk, and I of course sat here and instantly thought, shoot, I forgot it, and didn't want to start over. So super generous. Anyone else wants to donate, always open to that. So, but a huge thank you to Cat Wings Designs. There are super cute socks and hats and super cute stuff. So I greatly appreciate it. So let's see. I do have finished objects. We'll go there next. I did finish the Albers cowl. That will be a shop sample for my LYS. It's the Albers cowl by, oh, I knew it. Come on, come on, come to me, come to me. What is the name? Crap, I can't remember. Maybe while I talk to you, tell you about it, her name will come to mind. It is made out of tree frog petaboo. So it is a wool and bamboo mix. It's a fingering yarn, but it's kind of on the heavier end of a fingering weight. I don't know all the color names, unfortunately, because it is recycled yarn. Ann Weaver. The pattern's by Ann Weaver. Like, it just hit me. Okay, Albers Cowl by Ann Weaver. Anyways, it was originally knit up as a sleeves by Martina Bem by a lady at the knit shop, and she was not overly thrilled with it, so she gave me the sleeves to frog and do what I wanted to with the yarn. But I thought, well, you know, since it came from the knit shop, I'm gonna make something into it and give it back to the knit shop. So I'm really excited. I went and soaked and blocked the squares before I seamed them together as the instructions indicated to do. So that was square 1, square 2, and square 3. So it is a cowl. When I took it to the knit shop, because the owner was out this past weekend, I took the squares in to show the girl who gave me the yarn what I made with it. And I just had the squares and I didn't have them seamed. And she couldn't see the cowl aspect of it. She could just see squares. So it's really cute, right? Like it has these pops of color. Very kind of contemporary. And depending on where you put the different colors, kind of gives it a whole different look. So it's real drapey. The ones in the pattern pictures were very drapey, so this was a really good yarn choice for this pattern. So, it smells so good. It smells like soak. So yeah, super happy with how that came out. I cannot wait to give it to the shop owner this weekend, and I hope she likes it. I'm sure she will, because she really just loves it anytime, excuse George, anytime she gets new samples for the shop. So, the other finished object I have, which I'm so excited to have this off the needles, is my tea with jam and bread. So it is made out of Cascade 220, Classic 220, not superwash. I do not have the tags, but it is charcoal. The teal is one of the Cascade Heathers. It's called Pacific. And then the gold is a Cascade Heathers as well, and it is called Straw. So it fits great. I'll slip it on here after I hold it all up. Simple pattern. It's Tea with Jam and Bread by Heidi Kermeyer. And of course I finish it and we get nice weather. It was absolutely cold the whole time I was finishing it up. Like I was working on the sleeves and it was quite chilly. And once you know it, I get it all finished up and it gets warm. Okay. See? Whoop. Really cute. Super comfy. I know some people don't like Cascade 220 for garments on their skin. I've never had a problem with it, and I even have pretty sensitive skin. So I have not soaked it. I'm not going to aggressively block it. I think I'm just going to soak it in some soak and then lay it on the blocking mats and not pin it. But it is, the sleeve length is perfect. Super happy with it. Love the colors, and I'm sure we will probably get another cold day that I can utilize it, because it just does not want to warm up this year, as many of you know. Well, I guess except for, what was it, in like California stuff, they were getting like ridiculously high temperatures. But in Ohio, not so much. So I think that will be this afternoon's project. Will just be to throw this in the sink, let it soak some, throw it out in the great sunshine, and let it dry. I don't know what it is about letting something dry in the sunshine. It just, I don't know, like it puts some like positive vibes in it or something, right? Like it's like soaks up the sunshine, and I don't know, makes me feel better knowing it was in the sunshine. Just me. The only modifications I made to this pattern is that I did not put in, there's no pockets. I didn't like the well, I liked the pockets, but okay, they're not very like useful, right? Because they're kind of like straight down. They're kind of in like the hip area where I do not need any extra bulk. And then they gave the yardage requirements for the sweater. Now I got gauge, I used a suggested yarn, and I still ended up having to get an extra skein. I had, by the time I got one sleeve done, you know, I had already done the yoke, did one sleeve, I had 2 grams left over, so I had to buy another one for the other sleeve, and then I was also like 11 grams short of the gray. So I did have to have more yardage than the pattern called for, but I swatched, I got gauge, still needed more, and I left off the pockets. I thought, oh, with leaving off the pockets, I'll have more than enough yarn. Not the case. So I think if you're looking for a really simple basic sweater, this is a really great pattern. I really enjoyed it. Very much. So my one work in progress, well, I do have another work in progress. I'm excited. It's a new toy design, I think it's going to work. Fingers crossed, I think it's going to work. So I can't show you that yet. It's not ready. It's still in the designing phase. But I am working on my knit along for May. I am knitting, let's get it all unscrunched here. It's called Palmer. It's by Alicia Plum. Well, I read it as Alicia, but I don't know if she pronounces it Alicia. So, to me it's Alicia. Alicia Plum. And it is a tank. So, you start with, I think it's, I don't know. I had a little confusion with how she labeled the yarns, and she doesn't say, because all the pictures show that you do a little bit of ribbing in a color at the bottom that you use for the top. But she just says cast on with main color and never says when to switch. So I kind of had to guess. George just jumped out of the window. I'm like, oh, I think he's eyeing my lap. So it's 4 sections. So not counting the ribbing, I have section 1 and almost section 2 done. And I am using Knit Picks Stroll in the tonals. So this one, the gray here is Thunderhead. Come on. He's eyeing my lap like he wants to sit in my lap. The blue is Blue Yonder. The green is Springtime. So after the green, I'm going to do Golden Glow, which is now discontinued, which is a shame because it is a beautiful yellow color and I absolutely loved it, and I kick my butt for not ordering more. So it's going to go blue, green, yellow, and then when you switch to the 4th and final section, it's the top where you split for the straps and everything, and I'll go back to the gray, which is Thunderhead. So that's my color scheme. On my project page, it's called Sunnier Days Ahead. Because I needed some reassuring of myself, I guess. So, I have had this in my stash for years. I bought all of them when Knit Picks first introduced the tonal colorways, because I was like absolutely in love with them. And the problem was I bought like one skein. And then it's like, well, you can always make a shawl or a little shawlette or socks or something with them. So I bought them and nothing ever kind of came up where I wanted to do just tonal socks or anything. So when digging through my stash, I needed 4 colors, and you need, I think it says in the pattern page on Ravelry how much yardage you need. So you need a little over 50 grams. So you're like, shoot, if you have a bunch of like 50-gram skeins, it's not going to be enough. You really have to have like one of the 100 ones. So I had 4, and they were all colors I felt worked good together. And so far I'm really happy with it, except I don't know if the camera will pick it up. The green at first kind of started to stripe. You can kind of see here. And then as you're decreasing, as you go along, it kind of changes and it's kind of starting to flash, get a little pooly. Now the blue stayed very nice. The blue stayed nice and variegated, but the green is starting to become questionable. So I'm curious how it'll go for the rest of it, and then I'm curious how the yellow will work. I expect the gray to be a little more pooling because it's up at the top and you divide the front and the back and then do the straps. But so far so good. I'm liking the pattern. It's super easy. I think it'll be lightweight and nice for summer. I will probably end up having to wear a tank under it because I don't know. I don't know. I keep holding it up like it's going to be here, but these colors go down farther. But, you know, nice and simple and basic, and I'm so glad to finally be using up some stash. So glad to finally, after having this stuff for years, I mean, I bought this stuff before I started podcasting, and I've been podcasting over 2 years now. So I've probably had it in my stash close to 3 years. Still bummed they discontinued Golden Glow. They I think it was like Gold Rush or something they replaced it with, which was not anywhere near as pretty, in my opinion. So that is the only work in progress that I have been working on besides some sample knitting. Trying to finish all the things that I have started, and it's so hard because I want to cast everything on, but I'm like, no, there are things that have to be done first. I have to pick back up my Monomania made out of the TML and the chevron stripes. They're set-in sleeves, and I've never done set-in sleeves, so I'm putting it off. I know I'm procrastinating. I wanted to wear it for Easter, which totally didn't happen. I was fooling myself. I do have some Yarny goodness to show you. As I was saying, the LYS owner was out of the shop this weekend, and a friend of hers and I kind of ran the shop while she was gone. And we got to, as payment for running the shop, pick out a project. So I kind of was like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And I'm like, you know, I wasn't going to pick out like a sweater or something, right? Like, I'm not taking advantage of the generosity. So I picked up 4 skeins. So I have 3 here. And I did wind up one because I had fully intended to swatch last weekend, and I didn't. Doesn't smell bad. It's not wool. It has a different smell. So 4 skeins all together. I'm only gonna handle one here. It is Plymouth Yarn Kudo, which I have never used. It is 55% cotton, 40% rayon, and 5% silk. It is definitely a worsted to maybe even an Aran weight. It is color number 42, and it's stripes. So think kind of Noro-esque. It is navy blue, aqua green, like an emerald green, and kind of like a turquoise. I don't know, I guess kind of a lime, but not a bright lime, like a very subdued lime. But it's stripes, and it's gorgeous. And I already know what I'm going to do with it. So a few weeks ago, a lady came into the knit shop wearing this. And it's not in color, so I don't know how well you're going to be able to see the pattern. Anyways, it's called L'Envelope. So it's all like French sounding. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see. But it's kind of like a poncho, but it's asymmetrical, and it actually has an armhole on one side. It has a little bit of a collar. It's so hard to show because there's tons of pictures, but this is all just swatch information. So I wouldn't be giving away anything really kind of show you there. So we're all kind of wanting to knit it in the shop, and I thought, oh, that'll be the perfect thing to knit up. So I'm going to hopefully get that swatched. It calls for like Noro Curion and stuff, so I know that this does not have the stretch that a wool would have, but I think it'd be gorgeous. It would complement many things in my closet. It would be very versatile in these colors. There wasn't any Noro in the shop that I was like, oh yes, that's what I want. So like I said, I've never used this, so I'm trying to try new things that are in the shop, so I can be able to tell somebody, oh yes, I have knit with this, this is great for this, or you know, I've knit with this, it might not work for that, you know, just to educate myself with what's in the shop. And then the other Yarny goodness I have, I love this so much. This was sent to me by Michelle of Dancing Dog Dye Works. It is 100% superwash merino. This is 660 yards, and it is called Pumpkin. And it is a light fingering. It is, oh, it's Tango Sock. I was thinking she was sending Jive. It's Tango Sock. So it is orange. It is not quite that eye-searing orange, but it is like beautiful orange. I don't know. The camera is kind of picking it up way, at least from what I can see, way brighter. And I know it's the lighting in here. Maybe move it over here. I don't know. Anyways, it is like the most beautiful orange. So I will be knitting her up a sample of my new shawl pattern because I love making things for her. She's such a great friend, and I know she's so busy dying all the time that she doesn't get much chance to do the knitting, especially a big lace project. So, you know, I told her, pick out your color, and she said she's obsessed with this orange right now, and I can see why. So I need to have that done for June, so I can take it and hand deliver it to her when I see her at the Zombie Knitpocalypse. And speaking of the Zombie Knitpocalypse, if you haven't been in the Ravelry group for the retreat, I did talk to Megan, and she said we are totally on for doing a t-shirt photo if anybody is interested who is doing the Eat Sleep Knit Yarnathon, to get our group picture in our Yarnathon t-shirts. Because for those of you who are not doing the Yarnathon, they have a scavenger hunt, and it's a photo scavenger hunt, and you have to wear your t-shirt, and there is a list of things that you have to get your picture taken with in your t-shirt, and one of them is as many people as possible wearing their Yarnathon t-shirts together. Now, I live in an area where I don't know anybody else who does the Yarnathon, so I thought, oh, there's going to be like 150 knitters all together at the retreat. There's got to be at least one other one. So I know of 2 other people, so there should be 3. Fingers crossed. We're going to be doing it Friday before we all split off for dinner. So there's going to be like opening ceremonies and prize giveaways, and then that'll be over and everyone can go their separate ways for dinner. So I thought right after that's done, before everybody goes their separate ways, Friday night, we're going to go ahead. Pretty sure it's Friday. I got to double check the group. I don't think it's Thursday. I'm pretty sure it's Friday. No, it would be Thursday because opening ceremonies, duh. Thursday, not Friday. My bad. So, and we'll get that out of the way. It'll be done, taken care of for those doing the scavenger hunt, because you get extra yardage towards your goal. And since I'm trying not to buy too much yarn, I want to do all of the extra bonus stuff I can to get more yardage to earn some free prizes. So, okay, that is it for the knitting. If you leave me now, I will see you next week. And if you're sticking around, we're moving into a slice of life. This was a crazy hectic week. My husband had surgery Monday, so 2 days ago. It was nothing major. There was a lump that needed removed. They don't think it's anything serious. Of course, they have to biopsy it. We will hopefully know something by the end of the week. Fingers crossed. But everything went well. They didn't even knock him out. They just did a local anesthetic, and he got to come home that afternoon. So I had lots of downtime this week to sit and just knit. So that's how I made so much progress on my tank, and then I ended up at the car dealership. They can't figure out what's wrong with my car. Frustrating, so I have to take it back in a week. So we'll see, right? So totally crazy, and I have to admit, my husband's birthday was over the weekend, so there was lots of eating out. His mom treated us to dinner, his sister treated us to dinner, and my gift to him was like a date night where he and I got to go out to dinner, just the 2 of us, and yeah, it was a bad food week. And it's stress too, right? Because like they took him back for surgery, and I had like an hour or so to kill. So they had like a little coffee shop at the hospital. Totally not your Starbucks or something like that. No. But they did have snacks, and I sat there and I snacked because like when I get nervous or anxious or upset or something, I eat. Emotional eater. Said it before. And then we're driving through my favorite little town where there's the bakery with my favorite donuts, and traffic was, they were doing road work, so we had to go around and we had to go drive past it. And if I'm driving past it, I'm gonna stop. I only normally get there like once or twice a year, and the fact I've been able to go like twice in like a week, I can't not stop. There's just, because I won't drive that far to get one, just to get a donut. So if I'm driving past, I'm stopping. And I didn't get one, I got 2. And I ate french fries even though I have totally sworn off fried food. And then after the surgery, my husband was starving. So we're going through, and all there is fast food restaurants, right? Like, that's it. That's all there is. And he picks Wendy's, and I'm like... So I got a chicken sandwich and fries. I ended up with a horrible stomach ache. And I'm like... So when I got on the scale this week and I gained 4.6 pounds, I was like disgusted and upset. And I'm like, ugh. So today I'm trying to get back to it because yesterday was a fail. So hopefully next week I will have a significant loss because I'm being really good this week and I haven't been drinking my water. And I know if you don't drink your water, you retain water, and it's nothing I don't know, right? Like by now it's like, crap, I know better, but it was a stressful week. But I have to tell you guys, because I love telling you guys when I find something new. So I was at the grocery store this morning and I saw these, and they're in the candy aisle. Well, I got them at Walmart, and they're in the candy aisle. So, anyways, they're from Weight Watchers, and they're with Whitman's. Now, I know Whitman's is no Godiva and all that stuff, but I love Whitman's candies. You give me a Whitman's sampler, and I'm like the happiest camper. Love that stuff. So, when I saw these, so Weight Watchers teamed up with Whitman's, and they are red velvet candies. Is that focusing? I hope so. They're delicious. I like them because you get 5 in a little pouch and it's 3 points or 110 calories. And so the filling is not that red. It looks more like raspberry filling. The color wise. Taste wise, it is delicious. It is a creamy, chocolatey, rich, coated in dark chocolate cream filling. And I loved them. So I always like to tell you guys when I find something new. And they had like all different other kinds of. They had little caramels coated in chocolate. They had like these pecan cluster things. And oh, dropped it. They're all with Whitman's, and I'm thrilled. I had to grab a box. And you get 6 pouches in it. They're just under an ounce each. They're 7/8 of an ounce. And they were 3 something. So I mean, they're not like super cheap, but I have found I like sweets, and that's my downfall. And I noticed recently, like I had been buying like the Weight Watchers like ice cream or like the Skinny Cow little candies, and I stopped doing that because it was kind of cutting into my points for the day. But I've learned I kind of need that. That kind of keeps me like to have a little like 2 or 3 point treat in the evening after dinner. Like when the kids go to bed and I can sit there and I feel like it's like my little indulgence that I don't have like the big like donut cravings and sweets. And of course, you know, it was hard. It was his birthday. So there was lots of cake and lots of desserts and, you know, but I got to get back in that routine because that seemed to help me a lot if I could have that little something sweet at the end of the day, and it wasn't like eating a Snickers bar or, you know, something like that, which I love. So I can't wait to try the other flavors. As I try them, I'll let you know what I think, I guess, because people seem to like it when I let them know I find something that's really good. So I was very pleased with those. So far, so good. I ate a pack with lunch today. So I won't have one tonight later, but I wanted to be able to tell you guys about them. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So, other than that, like I said, it's so nice because the surgery's done and over with. They just wanted to get it done. Hopefully they'll figure out what's wrong with my car. So, they went and they tore all the brakes apart because they thought it might be something with the brakes, and then I've looked up the kind of car I've had. There's a leak in a seal that is an ongoing problem. And of course, I'm telling the guy that. And the guy's like, we've never had one in here with that problem. I've never even heard of that. And I'm like, here I am getting treated like a dumb girl. I mean, that's pretty much how I felt. And it's kind of funny because my dad was a mechanic. Like, I know, like, smells in a car. It smells like burning plastic. That's bad. You know, I know what oil smell sounds like. Oil smell sounds like. It smells like. You know, it's like I know all the different things. I'm well educated when it comes to vehicles. And you just get that dumb girl, like, look from them, right? And it's like, oh, come on. But hopefully when I take it in next week, they'll find the problem. It'll be covered under the warranty because my car is still under warranty because I bought the extended one. And always do that when you buy a used car. It really is the smart thing to do. And hopefully it'll get straightened out because it's driving me nuts that there is a problem and they can't find it. So, but hopefully, I really hope to have the new toy done and testing soon. And get some things off the needles. And I love seeing everyone's... Oh, I might sneeze. Sneezing, not a cough. Sorry about that. I love seeing everyone's pattern ideas they're using or the stash they plan on using. And there was even some finished objects already. So awesome. So, super excited that everyone else is super excited about this knit along because I was like, I just felt like, oh, what a great idea. So, that's it for me this week. I am Jenna, also known as RetroLemon. I am RetroLemon on Ravelry, Plurk, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram. Oh, I might sneeze again. Fitbit and Weight Watchers. And until next week, I'll see you then. Bye.